Hey everyone, these are the noodles we chowing on today. It's 2020, and as you can see, I've already given up. I've been going to the movie theater quite a bit recently, and I've gotta say that, man, people don't know how to act. And since movie theater etiquette isn't necessarily something taught in school, I wanted to create the definitive guide so that you can go out into the world knowing that you're a kind and considerate moviegoer. To spice things up today and to appeal to the 65+ age demographic, we're going to be playing a game of bingo. So I created a bingo board, and as I go through the video, you can cross off whichever cinema sin you're guilty of and see if by the end you get a bingo. I'm going to be playing along too because I'm not squeaky clean either. Anyways, let's get started. Usually every bingo card starts with a free space in the center, and for our game here today, our free space is going to be watching a Marvel movie. Now, saying that watching a Marvel movie is a cinema sin is honestly quite controversial, but trust me when I say I had no choice. Legendary director Martin Scorsese literally took my girlfriend hostage. And then UDAM, that stands for United Directors Against Marvel Movies, contacted me and said the only way they would let her go is if I put this in the video. I'm pleading with you, Martin. I've burned all my Marvel movies. I've disliked every trailer. What more do you want me to do? Just please let her go. Please. Sorry about that. Now that we have our free space in the center, we need to populate the rest of the bingo board, so cross off any of these that apply to you, and I'm going to reveal the rest of the empty spaces throughout the video. The first square we're going to reveal is pretty obvious, but I think it still needs to be said, and that is don't go on your phone during the movie. I don't want to get too boomer on all you Zoomers out there, but I think it still needs to be said because I honestly see it in every movie I go to. What makes me the most mad is when I see people go on social media, because at that point there isn't even an ounce of an excuse. Because if you're texting, you're at least conversing with someone else, so there could be some urgent information that you need to communicate, but just going on the IG feed, like, come on. And for all you seniors watching, you're not exempt from this either, because for you, it's always the ringer. I'll give you credit though, because somehow it's always perfectly timed to the quiet scene during the movie, so the whole theater ends up hearing it, so props for that. Now there's some of you out there who do the subtle check, and I know because I used to do this in the past. I've noticed this group is mostly boys who are checking their phone to see if the girl they're talking to has texted them back. They wouldn't take out their phone to text them back during the movie, but just knowing there's a text waiting for them will get them through to the end. In the end though, it's kind of a waste of time because let's be honest, she's texting Chad instead. Let's address talking during the movie next. Now I thought about taking a hard stance against this, but I think everyone wants the opportunity to say something funny to the person they're seeing the movie with, so I think it's more important that we establish an appropriate way to talk during the movie. First, the person who wants to say something should nudge the other. At that point, the person being talked to should lean forward. And then the talker's hands come to completely seal the listener's ears. Once the ear is completely sealed, the person moves their mouth over the sealed ear and then begins speaking. If the conversation needs to be switched, repeat the same procedure. As an additional bonus, if you didn't buy any popcorn, you could grab a lick earwax on your way out for the same salty satisfaction. Now I want to say this is foolproof, but I went on a first date a few years ago and accidentally spit in her ear when I did the ear to mouth technique, and let's just say she thought it was a kink of mine. Our next one is a bit of a niche one in my opinion, but I think it needs to be established as a common etiquette rule going forward. And that is, don't leave any space between you and the person next to you when you sit down in the theater. Now I don't think you necessarily need to do this for every movie. Obviously there's going to be times where the theater isn't full, so what's the point? But if it's opening weekend or the movie's sold out, it's for the greater good of the theater if you don't leave any space. By adopting this ideology, you can feel good knowing that you're helping provide the most amount of open seats so that a group of people could sit together. If you feel awkward about sitting next to someone, maybe show up a little bit early so you can get your pick of the litter. The reason I feel so passionate about this is a few years ago, I sat next to this dude and he leans over to his girlfriend loud enough for me to hear and is like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Why did he sit so close? And just so you know, I looked totally normal that day. There was none of this going on. What got me the most mad is in the end, the theater got super busy, so everyone had to scooch together anyway. So like, fuck off, dude. Putting your feet on the seat. Now I think this is a cinema sin not because I don't think you should be putting your dirty shoes on the seat while also bothering the person who's sitting in front of you, but because there's a little known danger with putting your feet on the seat that I want you to know about. Here pictured is the Cicalandus ambulandus, otherwise known as the seat bug. When manufacturing the movie theater seats, companies place these inside the plastic so that when they get worn down enough by people putting their feet on the seat, it awakens them from their cryogenic-like slumber. Once awoken, the bugs infect whoever's feet happen to be closest. This may worry you, and for good reason. The Cicalandus ambulantis poison causes rashes, abdominal pain, foot fungus, and often the infected act carelessly and selfishly. I just wanted to take the time to warn you because the last thing I'd want is for you to start acting carelessly and selfishly when all you're trying to do is relax during the movie. Let's talk about holding seats next. I think the max amount of time you should hold a seat for is 10 minutes, and you definitely shouldn't hold more than one. This allows people to be late, but voids the one member of your friend group who always shows up late to the movie and just expects you to get there early to get good seats. Most of the time, I'm the early one, so I'm just sick of waiting on people. In fact, I got a great idea next time one of my friends is showing up like 5 minutes into the previews. By some unfortunate turn of events, someone took their seat when I wasn't looking, and since they had the "can I talk to your manager" haircut, there was no way I was gonna say anything. Sorry, Connor. I think I see some seats in the front row though. Hope you don't have neck problems. Now I might be getting nitpicky here, but I don't think you should put your jacket or bag on the empty seat next to you. Even if the theater is pretty empty, I think it comes off as quite entitled. Like, oh, I wouldn't dare put my bag on the ground. That's where people's dirty shoes go. You take your bag with you everywhere. The movie theater floor is where you draw the line. Even though it could go on the floor on the subway or anything like that, just the movie theater floor, no. Not going on there. Same with your jacket. Like, I guarantee you're not even washing that thing like once a year, so like what difference does it make? And is the seat really that clean either? Like, how often do you think they wipe that down? Like what, once a decade? And if it's like a cloth seat, they're never cleaning that. If your jacket or bag is so important to you, you should be willing to hold it. I sit with my jacket all the time, and after like 5 minutes, it like perfectly molds to my body. I'm mostly including this in the video because my girlfriend does this all the time, and I don't really have the guts to tell her that it bothers me, so yeah, sweetie. Hold up. I'm getting word that we have some breaking news regarding our next bingo square. Take it away, Steve. Thanks, Noodle.
Fucking bitch.
Thanks, Noodle. I'm outside a local movie theater where teenage workers are protesting unsanitary working conditions. Let's see what all the wubba-lubba-dub-dub is about. Garbage is my carnage. Your garbage is my carnage. So, why are the working conditions so unsanitary? Well, people are just leaving their trash in the theater. It is your job to clean it up after all. Well, I think that people are perfectly able to pick up their trash, but instead they just leave their shit on the— Excuse me, vile teen, you can't say that kind of profanity on public television. So you heard it here first. Teenagers are too lazy to clean up and do their job. For Noodle News, I'm Steve Spaghetti. I'm one of those small bladder folks, and yes, I'm not afraid to admit it. So knowing how to get out of the row to go to the washroom is essential. And lucky for all you watching, I'm about to share with you a super secret passcode to use for the next time you're exiting the row. If you say sorry, excuse me, and thank you as many times as possible, it immediately voids any inconvenience you're causing everyone else in the row. I suggest when you're leaving the row you exit crotch facing the seat. This is to prevent any accidental little toots sneaking out into someone's face because you ate too many Milk Duds. Of all the questions facing humanity right now, none need an answer more than which cup holder is mine. I've thought about this a lot and wanted to give my best guess of how to approach this. If you look at the row of seats, each row ends in a cup holder. This creates confusion in the row, and it's obvious that the movie theaters have left it up to public discourse. Since we live in a right-hand dominated society, I think it makes the most sense to place your drink on the left side of you. This is so that you can eat popcorn with your right hand and sip on your drink with your left. I think we can agree it's most natural to eat with your dominant hand, and since you're going to be eating more popcorn than you are going to be drinking, it makes sense to delegate drink duty to the weaker hand. To those of you out there who are left-handed, sorry freaks. Next, consuming alcohol and other substances. I gotta put on the cop uniform and say sorry kids, I can't allow it. Now I'm sure all my viewers out there are responsible users, but people like Brian have ruined it for the rest of us. My reasoning is that substances are fun and all, but generally I would say they increase your overall volume level. And if you're an intellectual like me, I watch a lot of movies that are quiet and emotional and don't have a lot of explosions going on. So every voice in the theater can be heard over the 4:3 black and white image of a guy rubbing peanut butter all over himself in the shower to represent our society's growing dependence on consumerism. It is because of compelling movies like this that I can't trust anyone with alcohol or any other substance in the theater. And with that, I think it's about time to wrap up the video. Thanks a lot for sticking around. Make sure you let me know in the comment section if you got a bingo and share with me your bingo card on social media. Also, it might be a good idea to share this video with a few friends so that you don't really have to confront them about how annoying it is seeing a movie with them. Lastly, make sure that you subscribe to the channel because I got a video coming out about 10-hour-long videos here on YouTube, so you don't want to miss out on that. And don't forget to keep chowing on them noodles. Gonna add the sauce packet now too. Getting that sodium intake. I was expecting this to be really disgusting, but it's actually not bad. I might get worms, but other than that,